Tell me you're in the middle of nowhere without telling me you're in the middle of nowhere. Because honestly, for about the last hour, hour and a half of driving that I've been doing today, I haven't had a cell phone signal. Where we're at is in probably northern central Pennsylvania, and it's known as the Pennsylvania Wilds. Now, I've seen some videos on TikTok and YouTube about some of the areas up here, and today I'm actually traveling to Cleveland for business. It's Friday, October 7th, and whenever I travel long distances, whenever I have to go to my company's headquarters, I always like to take, little detours on the travel day to check out some places that I normally wouldn't travel to just because of the distance. Because right now I'm about 3.5 hours northwest of where I live. And I was on my way to a place called the Bayless Pulp and Paper Mill, and it's an abandoned paper mill that I've seen on Google Maps, and I've really wanted to get to, and I'm still planning on to today. Hopefully, the weather holds out. When I left the York area this morning, it was bright, sunny. It's on schedule to be like, I want to say about 70 degrees today. But up here, as you can see, it is cloudy. I hit some rain earlier, and like I said, I don't have a cell phone signal up here, so hopefully everything's staying quiet. But yeah, this is it's a place that had just popped up on Google Maps when Google Maps was actually working, and it came up as the George B Stevenson Dam. And so I pulled off to this little parking area right here, and it's this huge spillway and this just massive, beautiful little valley here, and it's perfect because the leaves are just starting to change. And if any of you are familiar with Pennsylvania, we get about 2 weeks of really beautiful fall foliage, and then everything falls off the trees and we pretty much go right into winter. So I always like to take advantage of the leaves changing. It's my favorite time of year. I'm not a huge fan of the summertime. Spring I really do enjoy outside of my allergies, but fall without a doubt is my favorite. So pulling off to this little area here, there's a nice little parking area. They have a real nice piece of what looks like granite with some information about the dam, the spillway, the reservoir, and whatnot. As you can see, I'll walk you guys over here. This hasn't held a lot of water in a long time, and I'll try to look up some history online maybe when I get to my hotel in Cleveland tonight. But just absolutely beautiful out here. Looks like we got an access road down there. On the other side of the hill here, looks like there are some maintenance buildings down there, and I'll take you guys over there, and we'll go across the walkway there, and I'll show you the spillway, which is one of my favorite things to view. We'll walk down here a little bit. Now, we were just in I believe it's pronounced Kiana wild area. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but there's a couple places that I want to see up in that area, but I'm not going to make it to today because I still do want to get to the Bayless Pulp and Paper Mill. But just gorgeous out here. And I want to say this entire area right here is big enough to put a football field on, and then some. Now already since I've been here, there's been quite a few people that have stopped at this little parking area, and I don't know if it's just some locals or people like myself who are out traveling. And one thing I wanted to touch on is a couple weeks ago I was in Pittsburgh with Jay, and for that trip I had taken my camera that I have, or I should say had, the Sony ZV-1. Now, I know a lot of my friends that are going to watch this are probably rolling their eyes already that, you know, yeah, I did get rid of the camera. I sent it back. The reason I did that is I was going through some of my footage last night from my trip to Pittsburgh, which I used primarily the Sony ZV-1. And even with the active stabilization turned on, I wasn't too happy with how the footage came out. And I think that was one of the reasons I kind of got rid of it the last time. So everything you're seeing on this video is with the original DJI Osmo Action, which is now I want to say a 2.5-year-old, possibly even close to 3-year-old camera. And I don't have any accessories on it. I don't have any, you know, microphone attached to it. This is just straight up handheld. It's actually the video I filmed, I believe it was the Northwest River Trail before I went on my vacation to New York. And I don't know what it is. It's about this camera that I just keep coming back to it. Now, I've had this one for a little while, and I am going to be getting the Osmo Action 3, which just came out. Probably going to get that one here in the next month or so. I know a couple of my friends, Jay has one on order, Randy just got his, so I'm curious to see what they think of it. But if it's anything close to what this camera can do, and from the specs I've seen, I know I'm going to be pretty happy with it. But the scenery out here is just gorgeous, like I keep saying. And you can see up in the hill there, that nice patch of yellow, of those trees changing. Take it in while we can. Now, obviously, this camera, or any camera for that matter, is not going to do this place justice. I mean, it is the span of this spillway here, or this, I'm sorry, I forget what this part of the dam is actually called. I call it an earthen dam in previous videos, but it's just massive. And make our way down here. It looks like they have some benches and a couple of info cards here we'll take a look at. And check out that view. And see how, I don't know how many stories that building is, but looks like there may be a little stream that goes back that way. But this whole dam right here, I believe, was created for possible flooding. If this reservoir, this little valley right here, flooded, that area over there was created for that reason. So there was could be a runoff. But there are quite a few areas, and one area that I do want to get to eventually is the Austin Dam area, and that's home to a pretty nasty disaster. That dam actually did fail and caused some really terrible flooding. But whew, man, some folks out there, guy out there in a boat fishing. Beautiful. And you can see just how, even with a slight breeze, just how still the water is there. Yeah, so down by the maintenance building down there, you can see we have part of the spillway there where the river keeps going. I'm assuming that goes underneath, and that's probably where that little inlet is on the other side of that. I don't know if I can get down to that down there. We'll walk to the end of the dam here and take a look. I don't want to spend too much time because I do have about another 3.5 hour drive to get to Cleveland from where I'm at, and I want to get checked into the hotel at a decent hour because I am working this weekend. I'm doing some training on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'll be driving back to Pennsylvania, back home on Monday. Maybe I'll make another pit stop. Now, this would be a prime spot to fly the drone. I mean, you can see behind me there just how beautiful it is. But I'm not going to fly the drone for two reasons. Number one, it is pretty cloudy. I did drive up and I did hit some rain. So I don't want to have the drone up in the air and have it start raining and have the drone be potentially really far away if it starts to downpour or whatnot. The weather up in this part of Pennsylvania can be pretty unpredictable, especially when you get closer and closer to the Great Lakes and the Erie area, as well as Cleveland. And another reason I don't want to fly is because I really can't fly, because this is actually designated a state park. And those of you that don't know, it is illegal to take off and land within the boundaries of a state park. Now, with this being really out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know if I haven't seen a park ranger or anything, there are some maintenance folks down there, and they can easily make a phone call or whatever, say, hey, there's some guy flying a drone here or whatever, and I just don't want to take the chance. And I like to follow the rules, you know, when it comes to things like that. It looks like there is a trail. We're getting towards the end of the dam here. I don't think I'm going to go down because, like I said, I do have a bit of a drive ahead, and I have no signal. So if anyone needs to get in touch with me, I don't know, and I don't know how far I got to keep driving before I get a signal again. So as I get to the end here, we're not supposed to go down into that area, and there's a road that goes down. There is a big backhoe there. So I think I'm gonna make my way back, and there may be some I'm sure there's probably some trails all throughout this area here, but you know, it's fun doing little videos like this, just stopping off the side of the road, pulling your camera out and just recording something real quick. And that's what they always say, you know, people ask, what's the best camera out there? And the best one is the one you got with you. That being said, I'm gonna hit the road, guys. I appreciate your time as always, and we'll see you soon.